My mother-in-law chose day one of the vacation, the one I had tirelessly planned for months. To drop a bombshell, she had invited Bree, Dean's ex-girlfriend of 4 years, to make things more fun. I stood there on the beach house balcony, feeling my world collapse. This was the house I had spent 3 months finding, budgeting for, and coordinating schedules around. My daughter was napping inside. I knew immediately this was a blatant attempt, a perfect trap intended to sabotage our marriage. What hurt even more was that Dean knew Bree was coming, but he hid it from me. When I finally confronted him, he just shrugged and said his mother simply pitied her because she was recently divorced. I was too stunned and deeply disappointed to argue. Those were the two most awful days of my life. Dean and Bree were inseparable. My mother-in-law and the entire family deliberately excluded me from every conversation, every joke, and every activity. I felt completely replaced, publicly humiliated. They brought up old memories, stories I wasn't a part of. I was reduced to being the spare part, the babysitter for my own daughter amidst my own family. That prolonged isolation and humiliation was simply unbearable. On the third morning, I woke up before dawn. I no longer felt angry, just a cold, calm certainty. I quietly packed my daughter's things and mine. I left a short note for Dean, just 2 words: goodbye. I drove away, without looking back. In that single moment, I chose my self-respect, the dignity of a woman betrayed and insulted. I gave up on that marriage to save myself. It was the hardest choice, but ultimately the most correct one of my life. After I left, Dean's sister-in-law reached out. She was the only kind person during that trip and sent me crucial evidence. The proof included photos of Dean applying sunscreen to Bree on the beach, while our daughter played alone nearby, forgotten. And horrifyingly, legal audio recordings. In them, my mother-in-law and sister-in-law spoke poorly of me, calling me controlling and saying Dean was stuck in the marriage. They praised Bree. But the most painful recording, after I left, my mother-in-law told my crying daughter, "Your mother abandoned you here." She then prevented Dean from calling me, saying, "She made her choice, let her stew in it." These words were a vicious attempt to alienate my daughter from me. I hired a divorce lawyer immediately. With clear evidence of emotional abuse and the attempt to alienate the child, I had a strong case that didn't even require proving infidelity. During mediation, Dean and his family were completely shocked when the recordings were played. They never imagined their cruel words would be recorded and used as a legal weapon. I requested a permanent restraining order against my mother-in-law to protect my daughter. Ultimately, I won primary physical custody. Justice was fully served. The court sent a clear message: no one is allowed to hurt a child to satisfy personal spite, and Dean had to take responsibility for his complicity. Dean learned his lesson the hard way. He was forced to cut ties with his mother to protect his relationship with his daughter. He later remarried a good woman and became a more responsible father. We successfully co-parent. I also found my own happiness with Peter, a man who truly respects and loves me. He never questioned my worth or allowed his family to interfere with our lives. A few years later, my ex-mother-in-law sent me an apology letter after her husband passed away. Though it was too late, I accepted it as peace for myself and closed that chapter of the past. 13 years later, I am still grateful I drove away that morning. I lost the life I thought I would have, but in return, I gained back myself, my self-respect, and my voice. That is worth more than anything I could have lost. Every day, my daughter sees what it looks like to be with someone who respects you, loves you, and always chooses you first. That is the most valuable lesson I passed on. You may lose everything, but you must hold on to yourself. That is the final truth of my life.